Good day. This is Total War Attila, the next iteration in the Total War games. I was kind of disappointed when this was announced. I thought this was more or less just an expansion on Rome 2 and didn't really have any desire to even try this game. But after its release and a number of videos released on YouTube, I began to realize it's a totally different game. Completely different. For Rome 2 gives you an empire building game that spans the known world. In Attila, you have basically the Huns invading from the east. Just a mass horde of warriors that drive all the tribes westward and southward. They just leave destruction and desolation in their wake. So you can't just have an empire building game when the nature of the game is destruction of empires. So the entire concept for this game is the reverse. The Huns cannot even establish cities. They can't occupy regions. They just destroy and loot and burn. And the tribes that they displace, they're forced to become nomads as well, moving west, moving south, and invading lands of other tribes. And so in the end, we have a mass movement of tribes invading the Eastern and Western Roman empires. So that sort of a game concentrates on destruction, not growth. Excuse me. So there are various factions. Of course, you have the great migrations of the German tribes, Vandals, Ostrogoths, Visigoths. You got the nomadic tribes, which is essentially the Huns. You have the barbarian tribes, Germanic tribes, Franks, Saxons, and then the Norsemen, the Vikings, the Jutes, the Danes, and the Geats. And all of them play a bit differently because their situations is slightly different. We're going to start a campaign game here just to demonstrate. And I think I'm going to go with the Saxons because it's set up for an army to immediately attack another city and be able to see a little bit of the battle on this game as well. So let's get started. I do use a number of mods on this, mainly because, of course, it's very difficult in a couple areas. I'm going to bypass the opening movie.
In turmoil.
You begin with a small treasury, 2,000 in gold, and your objective is to survive to spring 400. You begin at 395 AD. There are 4 seasons per turn. Winter is, of course, very cold and hinders your war-making capabilities severely.
For the tribe.
And the Saxons, of course, began in Frisia. The Franks on one side, the Angles to the north, the Varians to the east, and the Langobards to the south. Further north is the Viking tribes. And all the tribes in the area are all going to be raiding and pushing the limits as they strive to find new lands and new sources of income. So you have to play this game very smart. First game I played with the Saxons, I didn't deal in diplomacy very much. I just went off on my own. I tried to take out the Franks. They were pretty tough. Almost everybody hated me except the Angles. I did form an alliance with them, but nobody else. And it wasn't long, in just a few turns, I had a number of these tribes declaring war on me. So that's not a real good strategy in winning this game. You have to make friends with all the tribes in this area. In fact, your goal is to establish military alliances. A confederation of Germanic tribes, and even Vikings, if you can get them on your side. The more the merrier. This provides a confederation that can withstand invasion from the east, and you can it's extremely easy to hold your confederation together and protect yourself. There's a number of things you can do in diplomacy. You can marry off your daughter to other tribes, or even marry a daughter from another tribe to increase your relationship with them. You can ask for non-aggression pacts to begin with. Most nations who are favorable towards you in the beginning will accept that, and that increases their dedication towards you. And so as you go along, you can build these relationships, you can forge defensive alliances and even military alliances, and you can survive. Now, my beginning strategy is to go with this fleet here off the coast of England, and you can actually attack the Western Roman Empire on the first turn. So let's do that just to show you how the battles go. And I'm not going to waste any time at all. I'm not even going to try and land first, because you can pull other supporting troops in that really prevents you from taking this place.
None shall pass.
So I'm going to bring my fleet down here next to the city and attack it directly.
Locating.
What the heck?
Laying siege to their hovels.
Now, and they only have a little over 200 troops there, so I really got this battle. I'm going to. Ordinarily, I would auto-resolve this and just go on, but I want to show you some of the combat, so we'll fight this on the battlefield. Attacking directly from the sea, my troops are seasick and therefore weakened somewhat, but I have them outnumbered. This shouldn't be a very difficult battle to fight at all. Quickly, and I wait for less fog and less rain. And finally it's dry and I can start deployment.
Saxon spears.
I like to group similar units together. Works so much better that way.
Melee warriors will kill them all. Grouped and waiting. Battle ready and eager. Group and ready. Ready.
And your starting army has a good mix of units. You've got spearmen, you've got very light melee infantry, you've got archers, and you've got skirmishers. And of course your general. There's a heavy melee unit. So without further ado,
Melee fighters ready!
I'm going to send in light melee unit to seize that tower, since this is my basic entry right here. And I'm going to speed up the action a little bit so it won't take too long.
The enemy has been sighted! The enemy should know when the odds are. Our hidden units have been discovered. Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
I met the cavalry on the right flank over here, and they are running away. Bring my light melee infantry on the right. Tactos in the rear. Bring my Saxon spears up. Here's my general over here on the left.
The men are broken and are fleeing.
This is a Marine unit off one of their ships. It was in harbor. They're usually pretty tough, but my general has no problem.
The day is yours.
And the day is mine. The town has been taken. You can see I did lose quite a few, but West Roman Empire still has some good legions, very strong, and you need more troops to overcome them in battle. So numbers advantage is a very and then we come up to settlement capture, and this is quite a bit different. You have options to sack, liberate, which will bring back the original Britons, who would be kindly towards you, or you can just loot the place and occupy it, and that gives you the most funds, 910 in this case. Or you can occupy it, which means you're going to seek to try and grow your kingdom. The problem with this is, in this game, is that when you take another nation, most of their buildings are useless to you. You can repair them, sure, but that's not going to furnish you with a complete city. It will have a number of disadvantages that are not open to you that were open to the original inhabitants. You can abandon it, and that will generate 858 income in this case, or you can convert it to one of to your city. But that requires 8,820 gold. And in the beginning, that is an option. I mean, you can wait 2 or 3 turns and do that on the first turn, but usually you don't have 700 gold in your treasury, and so that becomes extremely difficult. You have to wait numerous turns. Your army doesn't rebuild itself, replenishing losses very quickly, and so you end up having an army sit there on a captured city for 10 or 12 turns, sometimes longer, until the city is completely rebuilt, converted to your structures, and so there's a number of disadvantages to trying to build an empire. It can be done. It will take you a while, and I have done it. In my present game, I've taken all of England. Scotland's still free. Ireland's still free, but I do have all of England. I have also taken the Franks and one of the regions here, or one of the provinces in Normandy. So I'm well underway in my current game to building an empire. But it was, if I had not made friends with the surrounding tribes and created alliances, I could never have done that. They would have, each and every one attacked me, and I would have been shredded. So Attila is extremely different game from Rome 2, and I have to admit it does earn its right as a separate game, and it plays differently, yes, but you get the whole feel for the Huns, the barbarian tribes, and the end of the Western and Eastern empires. I'd highly recommend it. Fantastic game. So tune in again. I'll be making other videos, and hopefully you enjoy them. Thanks a lot.